Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Arnecam Sports Show for this week, April 10th. I'm your host, Arnie Robertson, and first of all, I want to tell you right now, I am very thankful to be back here in Fergus Falls. We had a great trip to Maine. Well, I will tell you this, the only problems is the problems that you have at the airport. We really had a nerve-wracking time coming back. We flew out of Bangor about 15 minutes late. We got into LaGuardia. We were supposed to have about less than an hour layover to get to our flight from Minneapolis on last night. And I will tell you guys this. Don't ever go to LaGuardia. There is so much air traffic there. It took us a half hour from the time we landed till we got to our gate. And that left us only 10 minutes to get to our flight to Minneapolis. And I literally had to run from the gate to the next gate just to try and get there on time. And we did. We got there and the line said the plane from Minneapolis hadn't even shown up yet. So I'll tell you this. Flight delays can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Well, apparently it was both that day. But I'm just so grateful to make it home. I don't think I'll be traveling for a while. I mean, in an airplane at least. It was really nerve-wracking and stressful. We made it. The rest of the trip went really well. My niece, Jewel, got married on Saturday. 8-minute ceremony. I'm not joking you about this. 8 minutes. But it was a nice ceremony. The weather there was kind of cold. There wasn't as much snow as we had in Minnesota. But anyways, there was little pockets of snow in Maine. Most of it had melted. What I heard, like back in March, they had 80 degrees in March in Maine, which is unheard of. And so, you know, speaking of Maine, Maine was, I really liked it, enjoyed it. A lot of trees, a lot similar to northern Minnesota. Really cool. We stayed in the town of Calais, which is in the northeastern part of the state of Maine, right on the border with New Brunswick, Canada. And we were on the end of almost 2 time zones, because when you cross the river, you're in the Atlantic time zone. But we didn't go to Canada. We saw Canada, but we didn't go there. But anyways, I would recommend going. I got a chance to see an island right off the ocean, and it was really cool to see that. But yeah, if you get a chance to go to Maine, please do so. It's really beautiful up there. Other than that, you know, this week I'm kind of decided to do the show on the spur of the moment, but just kind of to keep things rolling. Anyways, here's what's going on in sports, and I'm doing this show solo today, but I won't tell you everybody. Whatever I talk about, if you want to share your opinion or anything on it, go ahead and do that on Facebook. We'll start out by talking about college basketball. And Louisville and UConn both won national championships for Division I basketball. Louisville defeated all teams that I wouldn't think, Michigan, in the national championship. I didn't really get a chance to see the game because we were paying more attention to the weather because we thought we might be stranded in New York. But Rick Pitino won, and it was won his third championship, I believe. And this is Louisville's third championship, the last since 1986. And they actually won it for that kid Kevin Ware, who broke his leg freakily in that regional final. It was a great storybook ending for the Cardinals. Great to see Louisville win the national championship. And for Rick Pitino. And speaking of Pitino, Rick's son, Richard Pitino, was named the new coach for the Minnesota Gophers last week. Tubby Smith, who got fired, got rehired at Texas Tech. And so he got employment quickly. So hopefully Pitino will do well here with the Gophers. The next thing I want to talk about, the Los Angeles Lakers. Right now they own the 8th playoff spot in the Western Conference of the NBA. And they have 4 games left and a half game back behind them are the Utah Jazz. And they are going to be neck and neck for that 8th and final playoff spot. But could this be the year that the Lakers don't make the playoffs? 2005, they did not make the playoffs. Also, in the history of the Lakers, there's only been 4 years the Lakers have not made the playoffs. 2005, 1994, and 75 and 76. So this could be history making if the Lakers don't make the playoffs. They haven't gelled well this week. No Mike D'Antoni trying to do something down there with the Lakers, and Kobe and of course Dwight Howard. Just things aren't working the way they should. We'll just have to see what happens here for the Lakers. Also, too, Brittany Griner. Of course, I forgot to talk about, first of all, before I get into Brittany Griner, we got to talk about UConn. UConn won their national championship in women's basketball, and their coach, Gino Arrieta, won his 8th championship, tying Pat Summitt for most all time. And UConn defeated Louisville, who upset Baylor in the Sweet 16, and Brittany Griner. Of course, that Brittany Griner is graduating senior year, and there's probably a good chance she will be the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. However, Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban is looking at even drafting her in the NBA draft. Now, to be honest, this would be history-making. This should be the first woman to play in the NBA. But to be honest, I think even with her size and ability and the way she can play and dunk and stuff like that, I could be honest right now, she's only 6'8". Most centers in the league are at least 7 foot. I don't think that she would be able to play in the NBA, but who knows? That could be, but she probably would be a star in the WNBA. We're not sure what's going to happen in the next few months, but if she does make the NBA, it would be something, I would say. And finally tonight we're going to talk about Tiger Woods again. Of course, on our last show we talked about Tiger Woods and Lindsey Vonn. And I'd have to say right now, Tiger has a pretty hot girlfriend, Lindsey Vonn. Although I don't know about golf, but I know Tiger won't ski, but I don't know if she could play golf. But Tiger, hopefully with Lindsay on her side, will be shooting for his 5th Masters Championship. His 5th green jacket. He is the #1 player in the world. We'll have to see what happens. And we will I'll be watching this weekend as the Masters tournament is going on in Georgia. Well, that's all I've got right now for this week. I think next week, if things work out, we will have a guest, and hopefully things will work out, and we will hopefully have a couple guests here before. We're gonna hopefully have a guest next week and the week after, and then after that, we're gonna do a very special show for the M-State Spartans, highlights of the entire year. I know I feel really bad because they really haven't had any home games this year, like baseball and softball. I went by the college today and saw that they had the softball and the baseball infield cleared off, but fortunately with snow coming, they may have to start digging out again. But hopefully we'll get some games played here before the end of the year, and Spartan they will have some work to do. But anyways, it's good to be back in Minnesota. I'm your host, Arnie Robertson, and I thank you for watching the Arnecam Sports Show. And thanks for watching, and may God bless every human being on this earth.